what? LWDS, what? Man wanna act like me, man wanna spit facts like me, but it can't be done. Bad up in the stage like me, man cannot perform like me, there's only one. Have bare vibes and that, have bare heart and that, but I don't talk grease. Have no vibes on the rhythms, so I just see my man and I do not speak. Only brother that hasn't shot one box and still knows he's the hardest. Man like me don't brag about P, cause that makes you a target. But I'm nice innit, got good vibes like every time innit. No Hugh Blow, give me no time limits. Defend my team like I'm offside innit.
Alright, so yeah. We're back again, talk to Tings, and with my good friend from way back when, Denmarc Creary, aka DC, aka Mr. 360 Pallet, aka Mr. I Do Up Easy Jet these days. What you trouble? But yeah, so on this episode we're kicking it with Denmarc, my good friend from high school. First met him in high school, know him ever since. Been a good friend of mine. He's done music, he's done acting, he's done dancing, he's done pretty much everything that you can think of in terms of the entertainment world. He has released EPs, mixtapes, he has done BBC One Extra, he has done anything I missed so far? Alright, we'll leave it at that. That's a good enough intro still. But yeah, so we'll get into it. So on this one, I'm going to start off way back when, before you came into this country. A lot of people don't know that you wasn't originally in this country. Yeah. You're a yard man, just like myself. Your dad knows that. But yeah, so Denmarc grew up in Jamaica. Do you want to tell us what it was like growing up in Jamaica?
Yeah, I think a bit. I came here when I was quite young. I came here when I was like maybe 6 or 7 or something like that, and then like try to go back as often as I can because that's home, innit? And it seems like as well, it's mad, the older I get, like the more I'm like, I should be back there, like this is my place kind of thing.
Nah, I get that all the time, fam.
But when I was younger, it was just like young boy thing, innit? Like all I can remember, the majority of it was like my mum trying to get me here basically. Yeah. So she came, my dad came here first. He wasn't really looking to get us here. He was doing his madness. Like he was on anyway. And then my mum managed to get herself here.
She just applied for the visa and that.
All that kind of stuff. I don't know how it happened. I was looking at the cash situation the other day. I'm glad my mum sorted my stuff out. Why? Because that would have been mad. He came here the same age as well.
Shout out, man, like Cash-tastic back in the UK and that, my guy.
But yeah, so she came here first, and then she was basically just working her ass off just to try get me here as soon as possible, innit? And then she finally got the opportunity, finally saved up enough, got me here. And then her thing was just so that the cash situation didn't happen, because it's happened to our family members and stuff before. Yeah. She made sure like sort our stuff out as soon as possible. So that was priority kind of thing. That was priority before I even started going to school. Like it was priority to sort that stuff out. And then she sorted it out, and then here ever since, innit?
I see. So what was it like for you, when you first got over to England, and you would have been in primary school these times, innit? So when you first came over to England, real yard man these times, flipping, what was it like being in an English primary school, coming from a Jamaican primary school? In fact, before we even get into that, do you remember school life back in Jamaica?
Yeah, bits and bats. Like I can't remember fully, but I remember the licks. I remember that much. I remember that. Yeah, I definitely got licks a couple times. I wasn't like a mad like bad kid or anything like that, but you know it happens in it ever so often. But then the thing with me now, my dad was the type of, if he heard I got licks, but he came home, I got licks at school. I'd get licks at home as well, just because I got licks at school. So it was a mad thing. Yeah, so but it was calm. Like, you know what, the interesting thing about it, to me, the school system, the way it's set up down there, it's better. To me,
Oh,
in my personal opinion. And when I got here, it was almost like I was learning less. Yeah. It was. I was learning at a slow pace. I was learning less stuff. It almost felt like I wasn't as smart.
Exactly.
And then you just start like kind of
getting with
it a bit. Yeah.
You know, a funny thing that you brought that up, because I was in the barbers today, and I was having the same conversation with Lamar, Barber B, Piranha. I was in their barbershop today, and we was talking about the same thing. Like, I remember when I went to Jamaica in like year 4, and then I was there for like 6 months to a year. I came back in year 5, and the stuff that they was teaching me, I already knew. So when I was telling the teacher, because it was about fractions, the stuff that we was learning, she was like, "Oh, do you know guys know what this is?" And I was like, "Yeah, that's a denominator, that's the numerator, da 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 da." And she looked at me and she's like, "How do you even know this? Like, you've been away in a different country. We don't teach this. How is this possible?" And I was like, the system over there is a lot better in terms of education wise. You'd
be surprised. You'd be surprised. Like, I don't.
Sick. So what was your transition like when you first came over? Like, how was the transition from you, like weather wise, food wise? What was that like? Do you remember even?
Food wise, it wasn't that much different because obviously I'm still Jamaican. Yeah. So majority of the meals were home cooked, and then obviously Maddie Kwame's dad owned Dutch pot, so if I was getting food out, then it was there kind of thing. And then but by the way, Dutch pot wasn't. It's not what it is now. it wasn't. We're not about promoting negativity, but we'll leave that one right where it is because so it was different back then. I was gassed the first time I seen snow.
I could imagine.
Obviously, I was just an excited little kid to come to a different place in it. So the weather didn't really get to me until I started getting older, and I can understand. This is starting to feel a bit mad. Starting to feel a bit different. Starting to get colds and all that. But I was gassed with snow, man. I used to play in that shit so often. Those were the only real changes. The way of life obviously changes. It is definitely a better way of life here. Due to the opportunities I was offered, but it wasn't really that many. Exactly. Here, that's why when in the intro when you were saying all the stuff that I've done and all that kind of stuff, it was like one of them things where I'm not from here in it, so I kind of took everything in and just did everything, tried everything to just see what I wanted to do and all that kind of stuff. And because I'm afforded the opportunity, because I'm not afforded the opportunity, but
exactly. Fair. So then, when you moved into high school and I first met you, we had a bit of a head clash at the very beginning, at the jump. I remember, like on the, what was it? You know the days just before you go into the actual high school, and it was a meeting day.
The open day or something.
Yeah, that's
whatever they called it.
I remember seeing you there. You had your plats. You was with Liam.
And
then flipping, you guys was ramping, and then we almost got into it, and then it was the end of the day. We left it there, and then we came back and somehow ended up being good friends, which is a good thing. But like high school times, what was that like for you?
That was sick, man. I every time I think back to high school, it was just like, it was the sickest time, man. It was like both in school and outside of school, because that's when I was like really active, really social. I was about, everybody seeing me every day.
Man,
I was like,
very
you get
active, very active in the field.
Bossy. Relax, bossy. You gone too far, doggy. But high school was very sick, man. Just for everything, everything you can think of life-wise happened in that period of time while I was in high school, between high school and college. So it was sick. That's when I discovered music, started making music. That's when everything just, you get me?
Back in the day, man used to skip going to lunch to go do Fruity Loops and them things in the music place. Yeah, it was sick. And then obviously we got quite a lot of opportunities at Intake as well. If you remember, we did the thing with Emmerdale. You got chose for that as well. We had the music stuff, we had the theatre stuff. He was doing the dancing and stuff like that as well. Like, obviously you've explained how you wanted to take in all of these opportunities, but what made you pick these certain things? So obviously you've gone for the entertainment side rather than like other opportunities to like educational opportunities.
Yeah,
Let's say.
yeah.
So what was it that brought you to the entertainment, like performing arts side of things?
You know what? I just feel like it was primary school more so than anything else. Like, one thing that stands out in my head was the leaving show. I remember when you went intake, because it's performing arts school, we had to do auditions.
Yeah, I remember.
So I remember I just proper wanted to go to the performing arts school, innit. My mum, she was heavily against me going to Allerton Grange. Like, that was like, she didn't want that.
That wasn't even last thing. She'd rather not go to school.
Oh, she was fighting tooth and nail, because you know how they do it. They do it like where it's closest to you and all that kind of stuff. And obviously I lived in the area that time, innit, so like they were trying to
push you.
Yeah, she was
in
like,
that crowd,
no. So finally got into intake. But yeah, I think primary school was like when I started coming out of my shell with certain things a bit more, and then that leaver show, like I said, in my that's the first thing that comes to mind when I started like thinking about performing arts and them kind of stuff, because I didn't used to think about dance and all that kind of stuff.
Especially coming from like Jamaica and them type of background, you don't really do them things.
Nah, not really. Like, I used to do obviously at family parties and used to be the kid that like you
yeah,
get me all
exactly.
that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Not really like
as a
focused on it.
profession.
Yeah,
This is the life path that I'm gonna choose to go into.
Never thought about it until primary school, and then I just enjoyed like rehearsing for the show. Then they chose me as Michael Jackson. We did Jackson 5. I was Michael Jackson for my class. Sanchez was Michael Jackson for his class. We were just rehearsing bare, proper enjoyed it, and then smashed the performance, man. And it just felt sick. So after that, when it came to choosing schools, and I heard of this performing arts school, I was like, yeah, that would be sick to get into. So I was gassed and tried getting into it. Did the audition, got into it, and then I don't know why, I just naturally navigated towards that kind of stuff.
Sick. So during high school as well, you also got into spoken word. I forgot to mention that Denmarc is exceptional at the spoken word side of things. By the way, if you want to book this guy, I'd definitely suggest doing that. BBC One Extra did, and look what he did.
Leeds. LWDS what? LWDS what? Home to the streets with the LS postcodes. Home to Brigitte, Vicar Lane and the Head Row. Home to the 0113 home phone style tones for every skin tone. LWDS what? I love my accent. Mispronounced T's make it hard for some to understand me, but a head nod is all it takes for us to acknowledge each other. That Ayo or easy fam. LWDS what? We all know that's the anthem of Leeds. Home to Mel B and the Kaiser Chiefs and Heartbroken, T2, Geordie and Grammy Award winning Corinne Bailey Ray and the Denmarc Crearies. That's me. But some say that our city is too small for our big dreams, that we need a plan A, B and C. LWDS is all I need. See, Leeds is the power of the heart and mind combined is enough to change your life. From Jamaica to Leeds, a boy like me was able to speak. Even when I'm away, my tongue carries the words of Kipton, Seacroft, Beeston, Hyde Park, Hayrose, Meanwood, Chapel Town. I am proud to say that this is where I'm from. Leeds, LWDS what? LWDS what? LWDS what?
Like, what was it that drew you to the music? Because obviously, out of all the things that we was doing in high school, because obviously we had to do the performing arts side, and we had to do dance, we had to do drama, we had to do music. What was it that pulled you to music the most?
So obviously, you know, I was dancing first. I was doing I was in RJC, RJC for a good few years. And you know what it was? It was Dwayne.
Yeah.
It was Dwayne fam, because so we had a boy in high school called Dwayne. It used to be us three in it, just us three musketeers.
Trust me, if Dwayne, if you see this, make sure you get in contact.
I went to one of his shows. He invited me to one of his shows. I think last year. Yeah, he's sick. Yeah. But yeah, he's been like a from day. He's been just friggin' like a magician fam. It was mad just seeing someone that young being able to play keys like that. and producing beats and like producing these bassline bangers and all that kind of stuff. And then you had the little viral moment where he produced what sample was it? I can't remember. There was a sample that was going around. His one went viral, kind of thing, between all the schools, you know, when you used to Bluetooth in it. And it was just sick seeing that in it, and I think I started gravitating towards that. So like, started asking questions like, how do you do this? How do you do this? Then started just started trying it myself. And then I started getting the software from man that I know and all that kind of stuff, and just trying to do it from home and just getting more and more into it. And then when it came to like work experience, I chose to go to a studio. And then when it came to leaving school and deciding what college I'm going to, I had the two options of like, because I did quite well in school, like academically and stuff. I had the choice of going to like Notre Dame, because I wanted to do business, and they were at the time they were like Notre Dame was the best one.
That's why I went there.
So I was gonna do business and I think music as well, but it wouldn't be.
It wasn't the same.
So I decided to just bite the bullet and obviously try and kind of go against what my mum was saying, and decided to go to a music specific college and all that kind of stuff. But I think it was the win. It was seeing how he maneuvers and how sick it was.
Because I remember from like the transition, it was like year 8, year 9 times when we actually got to pick what ones we want to do. In year 8, that's when we was doing all the missing breaks and lunches and going into the music sector of the school and doing all the Fruity Loops, doing all of that. And then from there, like year 9, it's like, man, couldn't find you guys. Every time I knew exactly where you guys were gonna be. You was in music, either on the computers or you was playing instruments. Yeah,
we were active. Like when I say we didn't even know what we were doing at the time, we were just dedicated. And music is always, that's what it was about music. Like straight away, all the other stuff was calm, but straight away it was almost kind of like, I can't stop.
And
it was like an addiction. Like every single moment I had when I was at school, I was thinking about it. Even when I remember when we had to do like our final thing for dance and all that kind of stuff. We had to find music. I made my own, made a little project and all that kind of stuff. I was just addicted every time I was out of school, 24/7. Staying up till mad hours making music. Mum would send me to bed.
So that's why
use my headphones.
Always late.
Yeah, of course.
Always makes sense.
Of course. I was staying up mad late, just making music. Mum would send me to bed. I'd pretend I was sleeping. When she goes sleep, use my headphones and stuff. You get me? I was just mad. I was addicted. It was music. I don't know. There's something about it, fam. Ever since, I've just been mad addicted to it.
That's it. So in fact, just before we skip over this part and go and delve into the music section, let's go back to RJC, because I hear from my sources on the streets that you was one of the bossiest guys up in there. I heard you had all the girls and all that things, doing whining, queuing up for wines and all these things. What's all that about? Talk to me.
I wouldn't say all of that. But I was. It was a good time, innit? It was a good time. Like everybody was.
I like that you're humble about it.
It was a good time. It was a good time.
Nah, that's it. So what was like from your memories from RJC? What was like the standout memory for you from RJC? What would you say?
I don't know if I have one like standout memory, but RJC in general, like I developed a lot as a person. Like obviously I'm a man. I've grown since then, kind of thing. But my early stages of development as a man or whatever all came through RJC. Obviously, Dad was around and all that kind of stuff. Didn't really grow up with him, so like Naps was like my father figure, kind of thing. Even man would go to him to talk about whatever. You get me? Anything. Some just mad situations. You talk to him about anything. Any gal troubles. That I won't mention too tough for me, but all of them stuff I'd go to him, and that's where I developed my confidence and all that stuff, doing performances and kind of leading offers around the same time, doing performances there, and developing like my confidence and just maybe that's what it was when you say you hear whatever. It was just like I was just like a confident guy kind of thing, and just yeah, man. That's where I developed.
Was there any outstanding moments that led you to be like, yo, or any outbreaks in your music career? Would you say from college times?
Well, that was like the first time I got played on radio and stuff. And at the same time, college was when, remember before college, I was only producing.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
So towards the end of college now is when I started like vocaling my own stuff and writing.
Okay.
I wasn't doing that before college. But it was simply I couldn't really find people to hop on my beats and sound how I wanted them to sound and all that kind of stuff. The only person I was working with 90s, like mad heavy, recording everything and all that kind of stuff.
Because even we tried to do a thing together. That was sick.
But yeah, that's when I discovered like writing. That's when I started writing. I'd say that's probably a big change. And yeah, the radio thing.
Okay, so what's the radio thing?
The first time I ever got played on like DJ Target chose my what was it called? It was called like I think it was Swagger or something like that. It was called, and you premiered it on One Extra.
I think I remember that, you know.
Yeah, it was like a funky house kind of.
Yeah.
I
remember that one.
That was a sick moment. So yeah, that was the first time I ever got played on radio and all them kind of stuff.
So what was that like? So you're a kid in college now. You just started writing your music and you just started spitting your own lyrics, and then you get bussed by DJ Target on BBC One Extra.
When I say gassed, there was a video I won't say where I was at the time, but I was somewhere, and somewhere I remember there's been a video of me, just gassed when it was on. People were sending me BBM at the time. People were sending me BBs and all them kind of stuff while it was on. I was just gassed. I was just shouting like mad.
That's sick. That's sick. Since then, can you count how many times you've been on the radio since then? I've heard you quite a few times on the radio.
Yeah, I won't be able to count, which is sick.
You hear that? Man's been on the radio so much.
Nah, not even like that. Like, I haven't been on like ridiculous like 100 times.
Obviously, but you get the point, innit?
Yeah, but Target supported a good few times. Mr. Jam supported a couple times.
Yeah, recently as well.
Yeah, and then the local radio, like BBC Introducing, BBC Leeds, they've supported him on bare. And then they've had me on for interviews and all that kind of stuff, live sessions and all that kind of stuff. Sick. And then like Amazing Radio and all that kind of man. You know, right? Super sick. I've only been played on like the big boys like Radio 1. I think one time. So Love and Success. I think FCK, Sudden Change. Rolling, maybe.
Rolling,
the Ting EP, Ride EP, One Day
EP. Then you got She Don't Know.
Oh, those are singles.
Yeah.
But projects.
Yeah.
I think it's either 6 or 7.
Yeah. So nice.
So either 6 or 7. Yeah. Either 6 or 7 projects, man.
What's your favourite out of the one that you've?
I was thinking about this the other day. I was listening back through them the other day. I don't know if I got like favourites for
different
times, because it's mad as well. Listening back, everyone like represents a particular time. You get me?
And when you listen to them, you can hear that in the bars that you're spitting. Especially like my favourite 2 out of them is the One Day and the Ting. Them 2 are wavy.
Yeah. Well, one day I understand why that would probably be, because that was literally for Mandem. That was like everything, what the songs were about. It was basically in the group chat. The songs were about. Every song was about one person from the group chat. Every man was featured on it with the voice notes, and that was just for Mandem in it. So I can understand why. Why that. And then what you the Ting.
Tings.
Cool. That was just my.
You brought that back to and brought it in all of them things there. I like that one still. That was
a deep one.
I know. So we're gonna get onto that one soon. Don't worry. I've got some questions for you, my guy. So, we'll go on to the spoken word side of things now. So you was in Leeds Young Authors.
Yeah.
So I remember Liddell used to be in that as well. And Tyresha and Azalea, that's the one.
Pretty much bare people. Everybody pretty much passed through. You either passed through Leeds Young Authors or RJC, like growing up. One of the two, or both. You passed through two of them. Like.
What was it like? Because I didn't go to either. But what was Leeds Young Authors like?
Leeds Young Authors was sick. That was like a different type of confidence building than RJC was, because obviously in RJC I'm not on stage by myself with a mic in front of me talking to a group of people I don't know. You get me? It was like I was always in a group dancing here and there, moving here. Moving
there's
there.
always other people around to take the spotlight at some point.
So it was a different type of confidence building, like, and it was my work as well. You get me? Because with RJC, obviously, where choreographed in
taught
it. Exactly.
This is you going home, right?
Yeah.
Now.
So it's a mad kind of like intimate thing, and just taking it public. It was a different confidence builder. But yeah, it was very sick, man. Like I said, it was very sick. Like RJC and Leeds Young Authors, man, them two, and the fact that they're still going as like, yo, them two things there are very, very sick for young people growing up, man. Very sick.
That people stay off the streets and get yourself into one of them groups. You get me?
Talking about that, that's what kind of didn't make me get involved in that. I was busy. I had to learn something. You get me?
You always had something on your head, innit?
So I couldn't really follow people. I didn't have time to follow man. Them like I didn't have time to do it.
Exactly.
So yeah, man, it was very sick.
Yeah, but even then, not even just on the spoken word. Back to the music thing. You are a pioneer in the music game, and I say this to you all the time. And I don't even know if you take it in properly yet, but like, if you look at all the Leeds artists about, you've been about for a very long time. You've been in these conversations of the up and coming artist, who's gonna be the next guy from Leeds to blow. You're always in the conversation. I don't know if you've noticed that, but you are always in the conversation. I tell you all the time that, like, what you're doing now, obviously you're doing what you want to do, but I know that you have more than enough talent to outshadow anybody from Leeds, and that's not even gas. Like, even when I've spoken to rappers from Leeds, that everybody mentions you. There's not one person that you can say in Leeds who does music who wouldn't mention you. Like,
that's at one point it didn't feel like that. It does kind of feel like that kind of now-ish. But it's one of them things. It's like, you know, when you kind of, I won't say I've stopped, but like, because I haven't been actively dropping stuff and whatever. It's like kind of like, maybe now
people want that fix. You get me?
So it feels a bit different now than it did, but it didn't always feel like that. But I'm one of them people, like, I make music for myself, innit? So like, no one would know. Like, I've got this little personal goal. Every year I make at least 100 songs. That's like my personal goal. You get me? So like this month, I make pretty much songs every day, kind of thing. I might have skipped maybe 3-4 days of the month so far, and it's all just like, it all comes back to just me making music for myself. You get me? And I lost that for a bit. I had to come back to that. Me not dropping stuff and all that kind of stuff. It's not because of I don't want people to hear my music and all that kind of stuff. But it's just like, I need to get back to that zone where I'm doing it for me again, and it feels sick. There's no pressure. I'm not dropping. You get me?
You're not trying to outshadow this guy.
Man, just making sick music. Man, just making music. And at the same time, I remember Stevie Wonder once said, he got asked one time, how do you make these hits? Because he's got bare hits, and he's got the record for the amount of songs from any artist I've ever written, basically. And he was like, it's simple. I just make 99 dead songs, and then the 100th one is sick. So I adopt that, and then I see the same thing. Vibes Cartel, you make at least a track a day, sometimes 2, sometimes 3 tracks every single day. Man's in prison and man's still doing that. You get me? So you're wondering why, there's these bangers from man like that. because
they've got
working,
such a catalogue of
yeah,
work
yeah,
that
working,
they can just whip it out just
yeah,
like that.
man. And you can tell it's not just for face or nothing. Man are making music because they want to make music.
Exactly.
It gives them a certain feeling.
Yeah.
That, and that's where the versatility comes from. Like just wanting to switch it up and all that kind of stuff. And we'll talk about that too, because
we'll delve into
it's not feeling. Like I really, you get me? I really been itching.
Like
to before, fam. I really been itching because sometimes you get these itches. Like when you're not dropping stuff, you get these itches to like.
Should I come back?
But I'm not hearing anything like. I'm not hearing anything that's making
me
me
like,
like.
I need to come out of my shell and just
you get
show
me?
man what time it is.
I'm not hearing nothing like that. So
no, in terms of your performances, before we move on to delving into some of your tracks and stuff. In terms of your performances, you performed at quite high levels, and you've performed in like not low levels, but like smaller, more intimate crowds as well. Like I remember going to your performance at the book club. That was crazy. I remember me and DeMar being in there with our t-shirts on, supporting the thing. Mad, you was going buck wild on that stage, fam. Like when obviously DeMar said this to you before, bro. Performing is in your blood, brother. I don't know what it is, but you on the stage is different class. Like if you've ever seen this guy on stage, you know exactly what I mean. If you haven't, when he does a show, make sure you go see it. But yo, you on stage, nuts. Different class, different class.
That definitely comes up. Anybody that I talk to, that comes up. Even like other artists and stuff. And the weird thing is, like, performing isn't really like my favorite thing. You get me? It's just something that like I just proper practiced. I just proper took it serious. Like I was just addicted to just doing it. Just literally, fam, I would use this in the mirror, all that kind of stuff. I was doing all of that shit, fam. I was freaking recording myself on my Mac to just see how I was moving my arms when I'd come to this side of my room, when I'd go to that side of my room, proper taking it serious in it. So I ended up getting sick at it in a sense, but it's not my favorite part of making music.
And also, would you say that obviously the performing arts side has helped with that as well? Because obviously 100%. You can dance, you can spoken word, you've done pretty much everything leading up to the point of you being a musical artist performing on the stage as well.
100%.
So
they all every single one played a part, man. Every single one did. Like there's no such thing as like wasted time. I wouldn't say I wasted time doing anything that I've done. Like it all tied in. It all links to each other somehow.
Definitely. That's sick. So what would you say has been your favourite performance? Out of all the ones that you've done so far, what's been your favourite? Because even recently, you did Huddersfield Carnival, you did the book club, you did BBC, you did Leeds Carnival, you've done, there was another one that you did. You've done Bear actually. You opened up for DeLa Soul.
Yeah, that was
Mazza.
Sick.
Absolutely. I wanted to get onto that one because boy, they're legends. If you know music, or if you're an older person, the younger people probably don't know who the hell I'm talking about. But DeLa Soul.
It's just me, myself, and that. Everybody will know that song.
But yeah, they're one of the originators of hip hop. You get me? So for him to open up and perform on the same lineup as them is next level.
That there made me see things different. That there, DeLa Soul, like you said, you're not thinking, you're thinking maybe a few people will show up and whatever, fam. The O2 Academy was packed. And I think they said that was the most packed it's been the whole year, fam. DeLa Soul like when literally, fam, I'm looking out into the crowd and I'm seeing people like this against the bar at the back of the room, fam. Like barely being able to stand up straight. That was mad. That was a mad experience. And around the time, that was around the Ting EP times. Never performed the Ting EP live yet because I just dropped it like a few days before or whatever. And I performed the full EP that night for the first time. And you got a mad response. I remember you sent the video lights, to the group chat. People putting up lights and all that stuff. It was sick. It was definitely sick. But I would like, literally there's been bear in it, so I wouldn't be able to say.
You opened up for Wiley as well. You opened up for, obviously, Krypton Coleman in the middle of Kid Ink. Who else have you opened up for?
Like Kirk Knight, Denzel Curry, Angel Haze.
I can't believe you didn't bring me to
Little
that Denzel Curry
Simz.
show.
Yeah, Little Simz was sick.
Yeah.
Yo, Denzel Curry's a madman.
I know, blood. I know. I listen to his music. Listen, it's crazy.
The way that show ended, you wouldn't believe it, fam. Like, you know when they talk about rock stars and all that kind of stuff, yeah. Like, it was the first. Obviously, man's from the UK or whatever. I'm not used to seeing certain things. You get me, fam. The way man ended the show, he was crowd surfing. Come back to the crowd, then did the last song. Then after, he's called one of the fans over, played Sega or whatever with one of the fans. Then he's just got up and he's just looked around, and he's like, you. Called a girl from the crowd, put his arm around her, walked outside, got in a cab, and just went to the hotel. Fam, I've never seen nothing like that in my whole entire life. That was different. That night was different. That was, man literally caused a traffic jam. Man came out, went into the road. Obviously, all the crowd came out, and all the crowd was piling across the road. Man just called a taxi from that he seen passing. Hopped in it, just went to the hotel. I've never seen nothing like that in my freaking life. But performances. But I've never. I wouldn't say there's like one. The Little Simz one was sick as well. She's next level. She's next level. She is next level. Like, she don't get talked about enough, I don't think. But she is next level when it comes to music, when it comes to performance, even the way everything sounded, the way everything looked. She was mad cool as well. Like, just talking to her about certain things and like.
She's had a crazy story as well. She was homeless.
And around that time was when it got announced that she was on the Forbes list as well. She was like she was on the 30 or whatever. Forbes list in the UK. And it was just sick, man. She was just mad cool. I didn't even Snapchat. We were just talking on there a couple times and every so often or whatever. Her artist Tiffany Goucher, who's very sick as well. She produces, so we were just talking about production things. She taught me a few things about 808s and all. It was sick. So, but the performances were sick for different reasons. You get me? Obviously, One Extra Live is like friggin' mad audience. The only time I've ever been close to an audience like that is a festival, the Beacons Festival, that was a sick experience as well. And then the DeLa Soul one was like 5,000 or 4,000, something like that.
People in the All2 Academy, you know.
It was mad. It was a mad one. But they're just all sick for different reasons. Even that little one that you and Bravo came to, like, that was sick in a different way because something is switched in my brain. Me and Luby talk about it still ever so often. And he said you just never do that. Because I don't know if you remember, but they had like a little interval before everything kicked off again for the second half. And I was opening that second half. And everybody was upstairs in it. And they tried announcing it, blah, blah, like come downstairs, next artist ready to go on and whatever. But everybody was just still doing the social thing, talking, networking and all that kind of stuff. So I was like, my brain started clocking. I'm like, what can I do to get these people? What can I do to get these people down here? So I just ran upstairs now and I performed the Leeds poem that I performed at One Extra Live. And just like, literally stood in one corner of the room, just shouted, Leeds! Everybody's looking around like, LWD, everybody, and then just performed that. Towards the end of it, just started walking, telling them to come with me. Got down the stairs and I was like, yo, started to the DJ, started the tune, and then everybody was there, kind of thing. Like little things like that. That was a special moment to me in it, because that just like that kind of made me feel like my level of thinking or the confidence level with performing was I kind of took it up a notch that night.
And it's kind of like these are the type of things that you want to pull into the future when you was talking about creating experiences for people.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah,
100%.
that's right.
So January, the first one was Know Me.
Don't think they know me.
Yeah.
As we see all them when we
Yeah.
yeah.
That was actually that was a sick experience actually. That's like, I think that's like my most streamed song, really, you know.
That's your most
streamed song.
Really?
I think so. Yeah. So that was
it is a
interesting.
banger.
It got got
Mm.
into playlist and all that kind of stuff. But the campaign around that was I got other people involved to talk about like basic when people expect things of you or assumptions basically, and just being.
I'm gonna call you out on that. While you're on that same topic, was that a shot at the man then? Was that song a shot at the man then?
What, Know Me?
Yeah.
Nah. No. Them think them know me. Far as me, say, oh, they want me, like, grow me.
Because I remember in the group chat.
To be fair, it was more a shot. Yeah.
Say, talk the things. You dep on talk the things now, you know that.
It was more a shot at my dad.
Alright.
If anything.
Talk things.
Thinking about
why was it a shot at your dad?
Just you get how the chorus, them think them know me. Far as me, see how any mommy will grow me, yeah. You get me? It was just one of them, just being honest. It was one of them ones that just like, it being a yard song, I kind of assumed that at some point you might hear it or whatever. But it was more shots at that kind of thing, like, you get me? And
so, like, not to be intrusive or anything like that, but what made you, like, send shots? Well, not shots, because they're not shots, we're not, like, doing them type of things.
Just
but like, expressing your feelings in that way. What made you do it that way rather than? Have you ever sat down and had a conversation with your pops about?
See, this is the thing. Like, I haven't really had them opportunities in it. We're not in the same country. Like, and I try. We spoke about certain things and all that kind of stuff. But obviously, growing up, alright. So obviously, nobody really knows my dad. Like, none of man them or don't really know my dad kind of thing. So. My dad was like, he was on stuff in it, but like he was back in the day he was on stuff, and like I grew up kind of being a bit wary, a bit shook of him kind of thing in it. So I would never bring up certain conversations or whatever. But then when I started to get older, and go back home, I'd like just mention things and just like, because I was getting less and less like
afraid.
Yeah. So I just start conversations and all that kind of stuff, and then we spoke about bits that was I always grew up thinking like, why did he do certain things, like when it came to like even mum and all that kind of stuff, and like all the domestic things and all that, or little bits we kind of had conversations about. Didn't really get like answers that I really kind of wanted, and I didn't really get in my mind like a man taking responsibility for shit that he fucked up, basically, all that kind of stuff.
You wanted him to basically say, yo, I should have did it this way, it didn't quite go this way, I apologise for doing it that way.
I kind of just wanted basically just like explain the situations, your mind frame in them kind of situations. So I
can understand what you was...
but don't put blame on anybody else kind of thing, because you get me, that's we all know that it's not true kind of thing. It was kind of like my mum and dad kind of like, it was quite, I'd say, toxic. Like it wasn't until growing up you kind of realise how much, because when I was younger, man, I idolised my dad in it, obviously.
I always remember you used to talk about him all the time.
Yeah, of course, and especially because he wasn't around.
Exactly.
We used to mad want him around and all that kind of stuff. But like, you just start, as I got older and older, you just realise like certain things, and then I started saying things like, I'd never do some of the things that he did and all that kind of stuff. And then you just like, I don't know, kind of started kind of distancing myself in a sense, and then just talking less, and obviously it's kind of easy because we're not in the same country, so we ended up not really talking too much. Every time we do talk, he's always cussing me because he's like, oh, you should just pick up the phone and blah blah blah.
Yeah.
But that in my head, I'm kind of just like,
You could do this.
we don't really, yeah. And this is the thing about it as well, because it's almost like man didn't really make in my eyes, an effort as a little kid. Like man didn't really make an effort like that. You get me? So me growing up now, how can he then expect me to be the one that's picking up phone and trying to...
You
don't
know
make sense?
Yeah, it doesn't make sense, but it does in terms of Jamaicans and yard mindsets. Because with olders, they're the ones who, when you're younger, you're the one who goes out the way for your older. You're supposed to look after them and all.
I understand in a certain way. I understand in a certain way.
I'm not making an excuse for it.
Yeah,
because I feel the same sometimes.
There's no excuses in it. There's no excuses like... it's just like, yeah, just be a man about the situations and be realistic about the situations. Like if I haven't really growing up, I haven't really seen you be making an effort
like that.
and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And then
actively
so now I'm older and whatever. We both, by the way, we both have phones. We both have. It's not like credit and all that kind of stuff where man used to send credit and all that. It's not like that no more because there's Wi-Fi. You get me, man. Internet, WhatsApp, call, WhatsApp, voice note, what you get me? So it's like if you're not really still making that, so why as a grown man now, why am I thinking about that now kind of thing? It's one of them ones so you can't just let it. But
so would you say that like that type of relationship has had an effect on you and your life?
100%, but I never realised it till I got older, and then I started doing as well, having conversations with my mum
about the things that was happening.
Which I never used to do growing up. I never used to talk to mum growing up. Kind of just used to literally just separate myself in my room, making my music and all that kind of stuff. I never really used to have combos like that.
So what was like the turning point which made you realise like, maybe it isn't just what's on the plate?
So you know, like, alright, so around the Ting EP times, there was a short period, that following year or 2 years, I'd say I developed the most as a human. Like, on a human level, as a man, like, I developed the most in that period of time. And that's the time I was having real, if you noticed, with Mandem, I was trying to, obviously it turned into like bants and all that kind of stuff. But I was forcing Mandem to have certain conversations. Then I was doing the podcast where man was just talking real on the podcast, and you get me. And then like having deep conversations with my mum that I've never had in my life, kind of thing, just being real, like sitting down, like her in tears, kind of thing, like talking about things. You get me?
What is that like? Because obviously I've had conversations, like my mum's like probably one of my best friends.
Precious!
Precious.
I love you if you're watching, I love you.
She will be watching, don't worry, trust me. But like, we have conversations, but it's not, like I've never really delved into her past or anything like that. She's always give me like the stories about her as a kid and stuff like that, but I've never actually sat down with her and been like, tell me who you are and who are you.
This is the thing, like, I think it's you know what it is? I feel like it's I don't know about all the race stuff, but I feel like it is a black thing, in a sense, where it's almost like we don't
mystical, isn't it?
Yeah, or not even like it's mystical, but it's almost like you're a child, like stay out of grown people's business, kind of thing. Exactly. So we grow up not really knowing our parents like that. We don't really
have that friend.
I don't. It's almost like before you're born, you don't think of your parents as being out here. Like they were people before us. They were doing everything we were doing when we were growing up. Like, but you don't think about it like that. You just see him as a parent, kind of thing. So you kind of realize after a while that you don't really know him, if that makes sense. So like I just kind of just started thinking along them kind of terms, and just I started having real conversations with her, and then like it made us grow like mad close. Ever since we started doing that, man. And my mum's always, the one thing about my mum, she's always been mad open with me. Even growing up when I was kind of closed, she was mad open. She'd tell me everything. Like it was never anything like she'd never make me feel like I can't talk to her or anything like that. But I just didn't do it because I don't know, I was adopting certain things, you get
Yeah,
me? Like being a
stereotypes
yard
and
man or
that,
being
yeah.
a man, whatever they assume a man is, and like trying to hold things in and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, after a certain time, I just started having real conversations in it, and I definitely recommend it to anybody, like, at any age group, no matter who, like, how old you are, if you, like, 18 and above and all that kind of stuff, whatever, even if you're a big 30-odd-year-old man, don't be shocked to, like, have real conversations with your parents,
Yeah, because I remember, like, when, on that same point, when I sat down with my dad at Christmas, because my mum wasn't there, she was in Jamaica these times, and it was just me and my dad, exactly, and obviously, we sat down and kicked it, we made Christmas dinner, we was eating Christmas dinner, I was like, what, 20, these times I just moved to Kirk, so I'm about, what, 22, 23 in uni, and I was like, Dad, we need to chat, I've had enough of this, because obviously, me and my dad's relationship, it's not like, it's not like he's never exactly. You get me? It's not like he's not been there or anything like that. But when he is there, he's coming back from work and I'm going to bed, or we've had a day where he's come back from work, he's sleeping because he's tired because he's been working all day, or I'm seeing him for like a couple hours. We're watching TV together, and then again it's time to go to bed. You get me? So I never really got the opportunity as a kid to just kick it and find out. You know, like obviously you see like. I'm gonna say it, like a lot of white kids, they get the opportunity to have that friendly bond with their parents, innit? I didn't really get that, but obviously the love was there. Don't ever get it twisted. It wasn't a case where he didn't love man or he was out doing his own thing and whatnot. He's always been there, always motivated me, always pushed me to be the best person I could be. But because of his upbringing and how he had it as a kid with his mum and stuff like that, it's tough. And I understand why he goes about certain things the way he does, and I appreciate 100%. It.
And at the same time, what we need to think about as well, the same way we're not really having these conversations with our parents, they only learn that from them not having conversations with their parents. So it's not like they're doing anything intentional or anything like that. It's just how they were raised. It's what they know. It's their routine. It's their pattern, and that's what they're used to. So how they deal with certain things might not be the right way to deal with it, but it's just what they know. So in a sense, you can't really blame them. But like I said, it's never really too late to just kind of have conversations in it and just like delve deep into
it. It was a good conversation. Like me and my dad remember what happened. Like we talked about a lot of different things in that conversation.
Your dad's a man of few words as well.
Yeah, this is what I'm saying. You remember him? Like it's either. Like obviously me, because as a kid you know how we was in it. We wasn't bad, but we was mischievous.
Listen, you know what? This is one thing I wanted to talk. Alright, go on. I'll let you finish. Go on.
Man wasn't a bad kid, just getting it out there. I was mischievous, alright? So I used to like to test the waters and to do things rather than listen to what people was telling me not to do them. I just do them and see what happens, innit? And then more time it was either him shouting from down the street, "Yes!" And I'm like, oh shit, I fucked up again. I was coming back home getting shouted at and getting grounded. It was all a bit peak. But at the same time, when I did something good, he'd praise me. Like the times when I was doing like performances and he said he was proud of me and stuff like that, that hit home, you get me? Because obviously you know what it's like. He's a man of very, very few words. He doesn't talk unless he has to. You get me? And when he is talking, he's either telling you something that you need to hear, or telling you something that you don't want to hear that you have to hear. You get me? So,
and as a man as well, it's one of them things where we as much as we might not like to admit it or whatever, we grow up kind of wanting to emulate our dad, like they are heroes in a sense. You get me?
He is exactly that. He is my hero.
So I get it. I understand. Totally get it, bro.
So as you were, what was you gonna say now?
Listen, what it is about you, you used to be. You know why? That's why you got the name Finesse King, You used to do some madness. you used to put me in some sticky situations, you know. You used to put me in some even little things like, say man were mad young. This guy was friggin' robbing basketballs from, we were on the basketball team, I would rob basketballs from other places that we went to play, and then they're coming back to man like, there's missing basketballs, are you involved and all that kind of stuff?
Man,
obviously I'm not going to say, Yo, you used to get some madness.
Bro, it wasn't
And then
just me.
so there's things that obviously I can't talk about it, but you used to be also
I used to be on stuff.
freaking heck, man.
I used to be a mischievous kid, innit? I wanted to test the walls and see what I got, innit? But obviously, man grew up in it, and I got sat down by my mum, and she just said, yo, the way y'all living goes one way, innit? Either fix up now or it don't get much better than this. You're gonna end up like some of the older people in the family, and that you don't want that. So, man, I have to take heed. You get me? Thank you for that. So yeah,
big up pressure.
don't know. Come on, but yeah. So back to obviously you, because obviously this isn't about me. It's about you. So we was talking about you opening up with your dad, and obviously having the opportunity to do that, and turning point where you became a man and you started putting it on his toes. So what was like the, because obviously he said that he didn't ever really take accountability for what he did. What was the conversation that you had where you was like, it's not like you had enough, but you didn't really want to try anymore? Or has it ever got to that point? Because I don't think it's got to that point, to be honest.
Nah, it's not like not trying anymore in a sense. It's not like
you don't
it's
want
not
to go
like
out
if
of
he
your
comes.
way.
Yeah, it's not like if he comes and talks to man, I'll be like, nah, whatever, like. But it's more like if we don't talk, then we don't talk. In a sense, like I'm not. Really
I know it's there.
forcing the issue. I'm not really kind of like it is what it is kind of thing. And there was no real turning point, because there's even like mad like deep shit that it was always with my dad. It was always what he did to my mum that I was just confused about. My mum is the best person you can think of in your life. You imagine the best person, when it comes to morals and all them kind of things. My mum is that. And I never understood certain things, you get me, how you handle certain situations and all that kind of stuff.
And stamp on that. Yo,
fam,
she did a lot for me.
But so I never understood that dynamic in it in a sense. And yeah, it was kind of just like after a while, it wasn't like a one major situation. There was a few major situations, but even after that, I was still like, yeah, whatever. Cause man had like used while he was with mum, like months apart, like literally. I think my two brothers were two different countries. I think like a month apart, the same age, two different women. Like it was, I don't know what he was on some madness. He was on some madness. But there wasn't one particular situation. It just kind of, just gradually like kind of like, yeah, it is what it is, kind of thing.
Fair. So if there was like, if obviously, if he is watching this, what would you want him to know or want him to try and do to maybe like not rectify it, because obviously it might not be rectifiable what he's done or like the pain he's caused, but what would you want him to know that you want him to come out of the box?
Not just be like it's calm in it. Like I understand. I understand. I understand that you grew up a certain way. You did whatever you however you lived or whatever. I understand it was just a time, your environment, all them kind of things play a part. I understand that in it, but like it's just one of them things. Just don't expect certain things from me in a sense. But obviously, man, is like he's my dad. I love the guy, you get me. And like I said, he was my idol. He was my friggin', you get me. He was one of them guys that like everybody. He was just the coolest guy everywhere, kind of thing. In a sense, like it was a bit. Some people were like fearful of him, but some people wanted to be him, kind of. He was one of them ones, where you hear them ones where, girl wanna be with him, man wanna be him, kind of. He was one of them guys, innit? Right. And he's always been like, even now in his old age. I don't want to say he's old. He's not old, He's not old. But even now, man still looks like, man still swagged out. He was always swagged out. He's still like, mad cool. Certain things you kind of take from him. So it's one of them things where like, he's always been that guy. But I'll always love my dad, obviously. And I want us to have some real conversations. So I definitely want that. So whenever we are in Jamaica and stuff, we definitely will have that conversation, because obviously it's one of them things where life is like mad short in it. So
yeah, definitely.
man would love to have like conversations before.
I'd highly recommend that you sit him down. Just take him out somewhere and just sit him down, have a beer or two, and just
100%.
Chop
Like I
it
said,
up.
we've done that. We've kind of done that. We've kind of done that, but
don't be afraid
we're
to
just
put on
gonna do
his
it again.
toes, innit?
Nah, I'm not. This is what I'm saying. I'm not now. I've been at my age, what I am, and like the when I did it, I was like maybe 19, 18, 19 kind of thing, around them kind of times. So I was kind of calm then too, but it just didn't go how I wanted it to go. But I'm not like ruling it out, having that conversation again or whatever.
Yeah, definitely.
But yeah, man, I just seen that. I just know that, like, obviously being around my mum all this time, I know her sacrifices that she's made for me. I know the definition of unconditional love. When I say unconditional, no matter what, I could do a madness, I could do anything. That woman will love me forever, and she'll do anything for me, kind of thing. And when you see that, you kind of just know the levels. You get me? So it's not like expecting to match levels, but I just know the levels in it. So I know my admiration. The older I get, I admire what she did for man. You get me? And it's just one of them ones. But yeah, man, my dad's my dad. I love the guy. You get me? I love him, man.
Yeah, man. Pops, sit down with your boy, man. Talk it out, rude boy. Come on, trust me. It'll work out. Trust me.
Love your David British. Yeah, man.
Trust me, 100. So we'll lighten it up a little bit, and we'll get on to your venture into the podcasting game, which I think you should still be doing now with the man then. But obviously, due to circumstances...
Yeah, it wasn't like I didn't want to do it.
I know. Due to circumstance, obviously, it had to come to a halt. But
no, it was good. It was sick because it was like... That's what I love doing. I love thinking about things and doing things like mad early and all that kind of stuff as well.
Yeah, you was one of, like... I'm gonna say he was one of the originators of the podcasting thing. For me, that's
I would say nationally.
No. Not you. Like, let me finish, brother. But yeah, you was like, in terms of the free GM, Free Guys One Mic. If you've not heard of it, go have a look at it. It might still be on SoundCloud. Is it still on SoundCloud?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, it's still on SoundCloud.
Majority of episodes, I think.
But you guys started the same time. Free Shots of Tequila started.
Yeah, it was
around them times, and obviously.
No, they started before us.
A little. It wasn't that much out though. That's what I mean.
I can't remember.
It was
I
around the
definitely
same
remember they were established before.
Yeah, because even then they was established, but not like how they are now. Like Free Shots of Tequila, massive now, Spotify certified and all types of things now. You get me? Shout out them guys. You get me? But like. Yeah, like, I remember when you brought us down to London, because I don't know her name, but the girl invited us down to the party where it was loads of, like, podcasting groups, but man didn't really make it through the whole night. And we won't delve into that one still!
Listen.
But yeah.
You were on some...
Nah, it's E and J, man. That and me don't mix. It's not a good combination, bro.
That was really a madness.
It wasn't my fault, but at least I didn't embarrass myself in front of everybody. Man, did it?
Nah, true.
And then walked out like a boss, you get me? Everybody partied the seat for me and all sorts. It was sick.
This guy, no, but party seat. You were pushing man and them.
Yeah, you done know.
I got man into prop.
Yeah, bro.
This guy.
Come on, man. I was hench them times. It's alright.
Yo, you know what? Yeah, between you and OD.
Nah, OD's a lot. Don't even put me into the same category as that guy, man. He's worse.
Problems.
OD is worse than me.
Man, I've got man in problems.
OD is worse than me.
Oh my days.
150% worse.
Literally, I remember man had to ban him. Man had to ban going out with him. Man couldn't go out with him.
now. What do you mean?
Nah, I think he's calmed down. But
maybe.
Boy,
we haven't gone out in a long time.
Friggin' that one.
We need another man then.
Therefore.
But yeah, so Free Guys One Mic. He was in the podcasting game from early, before podcasting was video casts and all of these things.
Big up OD and Kyrie, man.
Yeah, exactly. Shout out the man, then you get me. It was a good little thing. You had a good thing going. You get me. But obviously, due to circumstance, man, them had to go attain their dreams and go level up in university. You had to
kids
come
and all
close.
that stuff.
Exactly.
Yeah, man.
But like, how was it for you? Like when you first started Free GM, Free Guys One Mic, what was it like for you? Like in the beginning phases of podcasting?
It was sick. So literally the concept, how the whole thing started, yeah, was we were just having conversations between man them and all that kind of stuff. And around the time it had just got the stat just came out that the biggest killer in men was suicide. And it was linked to the fact that men don't really talk like females do. Females talk about everything, like
anything.
They'll just talk to each other about everything, even when they're
Mm-hmm.
linking up and going out. You'll see them talking about blah blah blah. Like man, them didn't really do that. Like we didn't really grow up doing that kind of thing, innit? So the whole purpose of the podcast was us just having real conversations about literally, and explicit, by the way. They're not for about every topic, every kind of situation you can think of, but just us having a man conversation, like men sitting down, being grown men, having conversations about it, being open, being honest, and just having real conversations about it. And that was the basic premise of it, and it was sick. It was definitely. I would have been doing that
some of them
now.
episodes as well. Remember that? Yeah, I remember the one where me and Marlon was on there.
Yeah.
Sexual, explicit
Oh
content,
my
things
days,
and that.
everything. Yeah, that podcast was sick, man. Yeah, we had guests on and all that kind of stuff as well. It was very sick. I'd still be doing it now, obviously, if man live stuff didn't happen and all that kind of stuff, man. But yeah, 3G1M was sick.
Man's gonna carry the torch for you, man.
100%. Talk the things.
Talk the things. We're taking it global, baby.
Yeah,
come on.
Yo.
But yeah, come on. But like you guys inspired me in a way to do this podcast, because I've been procrastinating about doing this, as I say all the time, for many years. You get me? But like, the original idea came from you guys. I even wanted you guys to be a part of it, but obviously everyone's got the thing going on, so I can't even fault man for that. Apologies if I've ever acted up to you, man, about this and whatnot. My sincere apologies. But yeah, so it was good. It was good. Very good time. Very good time.
Very good time, man.
So, on to explicit content and them things there. I've got a question for you. Shall I ask it?
Yeah, what's this? Yeah, go on.
So, in terms of sexually explicit contents, this is the first time we're going to include this segment onto the show. I've got two questions for you. The first question is on... I got this one from Gaswork. Shout out Alhan. Shout out
friggin' neck, no! Anything that involves Alhan, no! What is this now?
Bastard, man.
No, anything that involves Alhan, I know it's gonna be some fuckery. What is this?
So on the Gasworks podcast, yeah,
I love them guys.
They asked the question. Do you eat pom pom?
Oh yeah. Alright, so listen. So I'm not a connoisseur of this thing, innit? We had this conversation on the podcast actually. I'm not a connoisseur. I'm fairly new to this thing, in a sense where it was like because obviously man grew up yard man grew up in a certain you don't do certain things and all them kind of things there. But when I got older and it was kind of towards the end of like my relationship and all that kind of stuff, and you just obviously be in a relationship for a good amount of time. You kind of you get me. You get comfy and you start being open. So yeah, I've definitely done it. I wouldn't say I'm a connoisseur though. Like not at least not yet.
Wow.
Not a connoisseur like that.
Ladies, you hear that?
No.
Yeah.
No, we're not promoting that as like a selling point. Nah, we're not doing them things there. I just said I'm not no connoisseur. Man's only literally it's only been like if I'm with someone.
Obviously,
I you get me. One of them ones.
Banter, bro. It's banter.
Or in a situation like there was a situationship at one point as well where man.
Get naughty. And then the next one.
What?
I don't agree with this one. This ain't for me. This is not my lifestyle. But I know, obviously, from past times we've talked about it in the group chat.
I think I know you talk. We talked about on the episode. 3G1M. Go check it out, man. We talked about all this stuff, yeah.
But Batty,
yeah, man. Man.
It's not about though, man. Let's talk about this.
Listen,
I don't understand it. For me,
listen.
Yeah, it's a bit too. You're gone too far now.
Listen, you know
so
what
if
it is,
you're
yeah?
gonna try, let me
You
get
know-
my
go on.
before you
Alright,
try
go on.
defend it. Let
Go on,
me
go on,
get
go on.
my thing out because
Go on.
I just don't understand
Go on.
the psychological premise behind letting someone nyam your booty,
Yeah, fam.
eating your bottom,
Fam.
putting their tongue around your anus. Like, what is that all about, man? Like, talk to Tings, man. I want to know this, man. I don't understand this
Listen,
part.
it is what it is, yeah. Like, like I said, I've had my day. I've had my day where I was out here at one point, innit? And like, obviously, what are you doing, Tings? I was out here at a certain point, but obviously certain things I didn't really used to do.
Yeah.
But then when you're in a relationship and you've been in a relationship for a while and them kind of things there, and like, and then there are different relationships like teach you different things in it, and like, it was just a thing where it happened one time. I was like, oh shit, for alright. And then I was like, oh shit, I've discovered look on something new then.
Yeah.
And then like, yeah man, what can I say? Like I recommend it. I recommend like if man.
Jesus Christ,
I recommended it to a couple man in the group chat and a couple man
they took it on and ran and they
and now man's loving me for recommending them kind of, you get me?
It's hard.
Well,
I just never quite understood the concept or the premise.
What don't you understand?
What I don't understand is, because obviously during sex, like, it's bad enough, obviously, if you've had oral sex. Oh, not if you've had oral sex from a girl.
Wait, let's ask you the same question. Are you a downers?
Whoa.
Are you
put it in a better place than that. Am I a downers? I don't do downers.
Do you eat vagina?
I don't eat vagina, no.
You don't eat vagina?
No, I lick clitoris. There's a big difference, you get me, man? Don't nyam pum pum, you get me? Because, come on. Don't get it twisted, man. It's not one of them things where every girl can get them things neither, you get me? Like, certain girls, obviously, it depends on what mood I'm in and that, and how the thing's going at the time, but yeah, man, I know,
obviously,
if it's getting super duper, and you're like, yeah, alright, cool.
You're a connoisseur. I know you're a connoisseur.
Nah, don't say I'm a connoisseur.
I know you're a connoisseur, obviously.
But man does.
Yeah,
man does my thing, you get me? Come on,
but yeah, it's all it is, yeah. The older you get, you just certain things, yeah, fam. I'm open in it, especially like if I don't really.
Was the guy who brought the premise, live my truth.
Exactly, fam. You have to live your truth.
You get me?
And then like at the same time, you get older, you try things, you experiment, certain things you like, certain things you don't like, certain things I wouldn't. You get me? I probably wouldn't open myself up to, but. Then certain things, it is what it is, man.
I hear
especially when you got a partner, you meant to.
Yeah, exactly. Like obviously, I wouldn't say just be going around like doing the do with every Tom, Dick, and Harry. Nah, respect your mouthpiece. You get me? That's for your woman, innit? That's for your lady.
100,
you get me?
100.
Like someone that you're truly feeling. I wouldn't 100. Just be giving the thing to just every
100, and that goes goes for energies nowadays as well. Because me nowadays. I'm off it, man. I'm off the just spreading my energies all over from like in general. I'm not on that no more.
From other people, because obviously if you're
as you growing up, it's like the boisterous thing. Like, oh yeah, how many gal can man sleep with and all them kind of things. It's like one of them things. It's just
it's not right.
It's not. It's just how we grew up, but it's not. It doesn't really do no for man. Like it's
childish.
And especially man, it's not. You get older, you start to kind of realize it's you're just spreading your energies all over. Fam, like I'm not about that no more, man.
I hear you. Makes sense. So on that note, we'll pull this one to a close for this time. We've gone out of our depths a little bit on this episode. I hope you guys enjoy this little segment. It's gonna be coming back many a time. Don't you worry. I might not use the Gasworks thing because I don't want to be copyrighted and all those things. Please don't sue me. I'll hand them forward. Please, I respect you guys. I look up to you guys. I am gonna bring the Batty Wash thing back. So if you're coming on this episode on this podcast here, just know I'm gonna ask you these serious questions. But before we come to a close, in fact. Sex talk still. Freakiest thing you done. Mad thing.
That'll probably be in it. Like.
No, but alright, so scenario me man.
No, that'll probably be it. Like literally, fam. When I say it happened randomly, the girl was doing a thing, and then she was like on man's like nutsack and them things there, and then it just happened. I was like, whoa, what is this? Oh, you get me? It was just that literally how it happened.
I said, whoa.
Oh,
Oh God.
that's literally how it happened, fam.
Yeah.
I'd say that's pretty much, that's like, I wouldn't really even say that's like
It is. It fucking is, man. It bloody is. I tells you that for free. But hey, each to their own. I can't tell you what you like from what you don't like. If you guys do that in your own time. But don't be bringing your mouth around me.
I'm sure. To be fair,
but like,
I haven't done it myself, so I don't even know what that's like.
No. Too far. This 2020 eating booty thing like groceries. Do not follow Janae A. Cole. It's not cool. No. Hell no. But anyhow, we'll bring it to a close there. Thank you very much, my brother Denmarc. It's been a special one. I'm not even gonna lie. And all the best in the future. Plug section now, just before we come to a close. Where can the people find you? Shout out your socials. I know you've got many of them. Check him out. He's done a feature on EasyJet. So when you see EasyJet on the TV and you hear the sound behind it, this is the guy.
So at Denmarc Creary, DenmarcCreary. My name is Mad. But yeah, on socials, that's Denmarc Creary and everything. So Facebook, Twitter, all that kind of stuff. I'm not the most active nowadays, purposely, just because in it. But yeah, I do keep updated with stuff that's going on. And if I were to drop any new music or whatever, definitely stream my music on Spotify, all that kind of stuff, Apple Music. Yeah, that's me.
Alright, and then we're gonna shout out 360 Pilot. No.
360 Pilot, that's like.
Shout out your Tings, man. This is the plug section, Ruby.
At 360 Palette is the graphic design side of things that I do basically. What you might see now, I've just designed Kiko from who won the rap game. I've just designed his logo. Did some stuff with Music Leeds. Did some stuff with MYM or Yorkshire Entertainment Awards. MYM, which is like a film company in London. Recently working with Geraldine Connor Foundation, doing some branding for them and stuff. The branding, graphic design side of things as well. At 360 Palette, contact me.
You don't know. Well, this has been episode 6. Hey, it's been a wild one still. But yeah, thank you guys for tuning in. Like, share, subscribe at T_D_T podcast. Get your friends to follow. We've got a competition out. I want to see loads of you guys, everybody who views this, go to the Instagram. Go onto the post, tag 2 of your friends. Let's get to 1,000 followers and we can give you a free piece of customized jewellery courtesy of I Am Trey Jodeci, aka Leeds' first customized jewellery maker / Up North Watches. Get at him. And yeah, thank you very much for your time today, guys. It's been a good one. Bye bye.